So, Brad, I thought I could do this all by myself. I knew exactly what to do, when to do it, where to do it. I was a little hesitant in terms of reaching out for help.
So if you're a speaker, you're an educator, if you've done content, and I mean, everybody's got domain expertise, they don't realize. And more than ever, people are wanting to gravitate towards individuals, not corporate brands.
Brad, it's gold. Everything about our company, what we do, how we do it, what is our tone. We gave it example documents. You would be amazed as to what the AI does with this information.
Welcome, everybody, to another high-impact, high-takeaway value episode of How Outsourcing and AI Works for Small to Medium Business. I'm your host, Brad Stevens, founder and CEO here at Outsource Access, and an amazing journey being a 25-year entrepreneur and had a chance to support businesses in 85 different industries over the years. We grew our company to about 500 employees in 4.5 years. And in that journey, I've had a chance to cross paths with a bunch of amazing small to medium business owners, entrepreneurs, founders. This podcast is dedicated to learning about their journey and their path. And when it comes to this whole world of outsourcing and AI and virtual assistants and Philippines or offshore, a lot of people are intrigued and love to take advantage of it. But the question is, how does this actually work, right? What can they actually do in my business? And what about the concerns that I have, around it? Well, this episode will be no short of answering those questions and diving in as we get a chance to connect with Armando here, which we will dive in his journey. We've had a chance to support him and his business, and we'll get into his background and his experience and amazing journey from Panama originally and kind of where his path has taken him to actually being a part of the Goldman Sachs 10K graduate program. We have to have a mutual connection through that. So amazing story, colorful, and what his journey, and have us a chance to support him here at Outsource Access. So thank you so much, Armando, for joining me today. I appreciate it, man.
You're very welcome, Brad. Absolutely. Let's do it.
As always, everybody, I'd love to be able to start right out of the gates here, that if nothing else we talk about, you're going to get a quick win of a cool tool, resource, maybe something you haven't heard of, something I always ask myself and our guests to kind of share something that maybe could be a good podcast tool, app that you haven't maybe heard of. So Armando, I turn to you. Is there something you got top of mind you could share?
Yeah, right. Well, this is something that everyone has heard of, but we have added a twist, right? So everyone most people have heard and use ChatGPT. What we have done, Brad, that has been a game changer for us, and this is something I will recommend to anyone listening to this podcast, is that we developed a brand voice GPT. So we went into ChatGPT, we went into the GPT capability where you can create your own custom GPTs, and we created a brand voice GPT. Brad, it's gold. It's gold. Okay. We fed it everything about our company, what we do, how we do it, what is our tone. We gave it example documents, what we have done with clients, how we do it, how we behave. We gave it some pricing information, and you would be amazed as to what the AI does with this information. So much so that today, if we're online, if we're responding to a questionnaire, for example, instead of just inputting what we know about our own company, we actually consult the GPT, and say, hey, listen, I have these questions. How would you respond? And it's a huge time saver, Brad. Not only is it a time saver, but the information that we get is highly tailored and customized to who we are. So that's if there is nothing else that anyone gets out of this podcast, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Use your custom GPT and create your own brand voice, and you'll be off and running.
Well, thanks for sharing. It's we're all hearing all the different ways people are using the different AI tools and practically, right? Again, back to the podcast episode, how outsourcing AI works, but tell me practical ways of how this can have an impact in my business. And that's a great example. We use a similar one, right? Being able to reference your brand voice for your marketing team, your sales team, and even when you're doing client proposals, being able to kind of crank out exactly what's in alignment when you're trying to have messaging and strategy with
exactly. And it applies across the board. If there is any bit of information you need about your company, it's there, right? It's there. So it's a treasure trove, Brian. Yeah.
And it's constantly growing, right? I mean, it's continuing as you feed it, right? And you continue to learn more and more frameworks.
Absolutely. As you interact with it, it keeps learning, it keeps adding, keeps getting even better every single with every single interaction. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing on that. And
Mhm.
I've done a similar one for myself. I call it Brad's advisory coach.
Mhm.
And I've literally
Yep.
loaded everything about my entire life, being a part of EO and YPO we were talking about. I've
Mhm.
done lifelines, and
Yep.
I've written updates about my business for 15 years and
Yes.
uploaded all my personal, my disc profile, my culture index, my predictive
Mhm.
index. It knows me better than anybody in the world. It's pretty
Mhm.
scary when you ask it, what's
Yes,
my biggest blind
exactly.
spot that I don't want to hear about today? And you got to be ready for what it's
Yes,
going to tell you.
exactly. Yeah. And the good thing, the value of this thing, Brad, is that you don't we just don't create it and leave it stagnant. We use it every single day. Yeah. So we gain value from it every single day as part of the running of our small business.
It's a
Mhm.
great application of
Mhm.
practical
Yep.
education there.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
and I'll share one that I'm actually working with a guy named Charles Bird that spoke for our EO chapter, and he is
Mhm.
a specialist in helping businesses grow through partnerships, right?
Mhm.
I mean, partnerships are one of the best ways to grow your company, finding,
Yep.
like-minded type businesses. Maybe you're going after
Mhm.
the same type of client and you find ways to cross promote.
Yes.
And I do a lot of those types of, webinars. Like I had a guy the
Mhm.
other day had 60,000 people on his newsletter that are all
Mm.
our target type prospect and had me on. And so if you're a
Mhm.
speaker, you're an educator, if you've done content, and I mean everybody's got domain expertise, they
Yes.
don't realize. And if you don't, go ask your custom GPT and it'll
Yep.
tell you what
Exactly.
you're an expert in.
Exactly.
It's a
Mhm.
great way that a lot of companies and CEOs and
Mhm.
leaders, we talk
Yep.
about the concept of thought leadership and getting yourself out there and personal branding or what have you.
Mhm.
And more than ever, people are wanting to gravitate towards individuals, not
Mhm.
corporate brands. Like, I mean, I
Yep.
couldn't tell you the last time I followed a corporate brand's Instagram channel, but
Mhm.
I'll follow an influencer around it.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
and so it's a
Mhm.
great concept. And he's got a whole business model around that called JV Launch. But if you're Charles Bird, BYRD, Google him and
Uh-huh.
see. He's got a lot of great educational content kind of around this concept
I'll
of how
make
you
a note of that.
really
Yeah. Mhm.
grow your business through partnerships, which is a really
Yep.
critical
Yep.
element in today's world, right? In terms of trying to find alignment. And the tool I'll share
Yes.
related to that is there's a really cool tool called the Brain, just literally
Mm.
called the Brain.
Okay.
And because at the end of the day, we're all trying to figure out how we can map our relationships and map our uh, the people we have in our networks, right? And, and
Mhm.
and how do those translate into relationships and connections and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so this is actually one of the tools that he had shared that you can go in and it'll actually help mind map like your relationship network that you
Interesting.
have.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's called the Brain here is actually what
Right.
it's this platform here. But it's a great one to go in and you can upload contacts and relationships and it'll show where are there connections or intersections within your ecosystem.
Gotcha.
And a similar tool is called clay.earth. I've shared on some priors.
Mhm.
And Armando, we've got relationships in our world, right? Some of them are living in your cell phone, somebody's phone number you
Yep.
entered in 3 years ago that you haven't talked to, LinkedIn, email.
Yep.
Clay, you can actually take it. Oh, well, you know what? Well, this is a surprise to me. Apparently,
Mhm.
they just rebranded to Mesh,
Ah.
which actually clay.earth was an odd URL when I would share it. Okay, so now I'm learning this live.
Gotcha.
It's called Mesh now, but I use
Yep.
this. They must have done this literally in the last 24 hours. I was talking about yesterday.
Gotcha.
In essence, though, it'll connect to your cell phone, it'll connect to LinkedIn, it'll connect your email, load all your relationships into one repository, and then you
Mhm.
can connect it to ChatGPT. And Armando, I can say, hey, who do I know in finance in St. Louis, or who do I know in franchising in Austin, Texas? It'll mine all my relationships and tell me
Gotcha.
exactly who I know in that network.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
So no
Good.
longer Clay.
I
Apparently,
will look
it's
into it.
now a connection.
Absolutely.
But great way. And honestly, one of the best ways to add value and to keep relationships is introducing people to one another.
Mhm.
And so I'll have my VA once a month will email a lot of my people in my network and say, hey, just tell me who's somebody you need to meet to be helpful. Then
Mhm.
they'll respond back. She'll go into my Mesh platform and then
Mhm.
go find somebody in my network. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
as promised.
that's key for us, Brad, because most of our success so far in our business have been a result of referrals, right? One client who's satisfied with something we did for them, talking to someone else and saying, "Yeah, call these guys up; they can help you," right? So that's been the source of our success for the most part to date.
No, it is. I mean, in a lot of our business, it is. And a lot of times, cold marketing is probably getting more and more challenging than it ever has been with all the different AI bots and tools. I mean, I get 400 calls and texts a day, and we can read right through it. So, joint partnerships is, I was like, yeah, this is actually this guy's website, Charles Bird.
Okay.
Really, really unique angle of kind of looking. He specialized in nothing but how to use partnerships to kind of grow your business. So we'll put show notes and everything down for everyone to be able to share.
Exactly.
They can check out these different channels of how to engage. Great use of a VA, which we'll talk about as well, as being able to data scrape and data mine potential partner relationships as well that a lot of people have explored in the process. So very cool. Well, let's turn it to you, sir. So we got those tools that we'll share, put in the show notes. So turning back to you, and audience knows me, and I kind of shared in the beginning, lifetime entrepreneur and love building Outsource access and the impact we've had, but overall just being an advocate for this whole world of outsourcing and AI and automating and delegating, right? I mean, being an entrepreneur and being a business owner is challenging. It's got a lot of components, lots of moving parts in the face of AI and kind of where we are right now. It's even more challenging than ever. And so it's been a pleasure to have a chance to provide some of the resources and a vehicle for people to have access to solve some of those challenges with our staff out of the Philippines with Outsource access that others haven't had. So what's been your journey? Kind of give everybody sort of your background. I know you're up in Connecticut right now, but kind of what was your path to get there that led to kind of the current business? And we'll jump into our journey together.
I will give you a 30 second overview, Brad, because there is a long history here that I won't bore you or your audience with. But
we'll link to your whole background for anybody who wants to kind of go dive deep.
Exactly. I'll go from back to front. I am my own boss now. I am an entrepreneur now, and I will never go back, right? I will never go back to working for someone else because I enjoy so much what I do today, Brad. And one of my heroes is Mark Cuban. Right? Mark Cuban worked for himself all his life, and he never envisioned working for someone else. Yeah. But Brad, now I go from back to front. Brad, I spent the first 40 years of my life in corporate America, and I enjoyed every single second of it. I never thought of being an entrepreneur, never desired to be an entrepreneur, Brad. I traveled the entire world. Right. As a matter of fact, I was in Amman, Jordan, 3 days before the Iraq war started. When George Bush gave his speech saying that he was about to start this war, I was giving a presentation in Amman, Jordan. We had to scramble out of there, find some flight, and try to get out of the Middle East as quickly as we could. So I have had a long journey. I have enjoyed every second of it. And 10 years ago, that journey transitioned into entrepreneurship. PTY Tech was founded. My corporate persona ended, and I've been doing this for the past 10 years. This coming September will be 10 years, and I would never go back to what I did for the past 40 years, as much as I enjoyed it, Brad, because being my own boss, setting my own path, working with folks like yourself and with all the different folks I've met in this journey is nothing that I would want to change at this stage. So having our own little business, interacting with clients, providing value to client, explaining how our services can improve their business and make them meet their goals is something that we enjoy doing like no other. Yeah, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So tell everybody at PTY Tech, I mean, sort of what are the kind of the core how would you kind of describe business and what you guys do? And as we know, like sharing the journey, like, we are in 80 different industries, and to everybody, industry does not matter, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter for where their focus is. So what's your kind of core focus there?
Yes, same here. We go across industries. So what is it that we provide? Very succinctly, Brad, we are an IT staffing company. We provide IT consultants, IT technicians, any role having to do within the IT space to medium and small businesses in the US, in Canada, and in Mexico. Yeah, so that's our core business. We do not, if you need a network engineer, we do not care what industry you're in. A network engineer in the hospitality industry is the same network engineer needed in manufacturing. They simply do things differently, but it's the same technical skill set. Yeah, so we provide these resources to our companies across industries, across the board, throughout North America. We do this, Brad, by leveraging lots of suppliers, by leveraging our own database of consultants and technicians, and by leveraging partners who help us spread our coverage to provide these resources to clients wherever they are. Okay, so we leverage our reach, we multiply our capabilities by using this network of partners to provide these resources to clients.
Gotcha. No, very much, can relate to kind of broadly reaching, right? It can apply to any. It's just a matter of the industry. And we'll put this on there. You can kind of go to their homepage, which I got up on the website for those watching the video version of this here, and you can download an entire ebook there, kind of on resources and a resource guide.
Exactly. And Brad, let me answer a question that you have not asked. Yeah. So what sets us apart, right? Brad, there are a million IT staffing companies out there. So why will a client want to do business with PTY Tech? And the simple answer, Brad, is that we are connected like this with our clients' needs, with our clients' requirements. There is nothing more important to our company than being responsive to a client's need. I like to use the example, Brad, that if a client reaches out to us at 1 a.m, if one of us is up, we will respond to our client at 1 a.m, Brad. There is no such thing as, oh, it's off hours, I'll get to this tomorrow morning. Not at all. Yeah, if we can do something about it and fix that issue at 1 a.m, we will do that. That is what separates us from our competition at PTY Tech.
Certainly when it comes to IT, I mean, there's no time can pass when you got those problems. I mean, because those minutes mean dollars in a big way when those resources are kind of going down for sure. So
exactly. Yep.
Well, we'll share the all the resources about your services and the ability for them to download the ebook that's available right here on your homepage about upskilling their workforce. So shifting to kind of our journey, right? We ended up connecting through a mutual relationship through Dan Gresh, and kind of he had been working with us and saw some good positive results. It's been great working with him. And so what was your journey with us? Sort of where was your initial pain point, right? That you were kind of navigating.
Yes, exactly.
You were trying to solve, right? And anything that starts with the problem, you were looking at options, perhaps you had some different perceptions around virtual assistants and offshore and what have you. And then on the other side of that, what's that been in the journey since we've had a chance to work with you?
Yes. Good point. Good question, Brad. My wife and I are owners of PTY Tech, right? We're the sole owners. And Brad, as I mentioned to you, I brought to this all my years of experience, right? In corporate America. So Brad, I thought I could do this all by myself. I knew exactly what to do, when to do it, where to do it. So I was I brought on recruiters and so on to help with the recruiting process, but I was a little hesitant in terms of reaching out for help because my conclusion, my belief system, Brad said, well, that person will not know how to do this, when to do it. That person may not be as responsive to the client as I would. Yeah. My doubt was, will that person that I bring in to help me respond to the client at 1 a.m.? Something that I would do. So there was my hesitancy when Dan and I were discussing this, Brad. And that is where OA has provided the biggest mindset, the biggest change in my value, in my belief system, Brad. The assistant that I settled on has shattered all of those concerns that I had. Yeah. We brought her on. We went through some rigorous training with her, both on your end and on my end. As a matter of fact, Dan, one of the training that she went through was precisely Dan Gresh's 7-week Biz Hack Academy Marketing Accelerator training. Yeah. So we ensured that she was well prepped, and I am more than pleasantly surprised with how responsive she has been. She has adopted and has incorporated our company's personality, Brad, right? She is PTY Tech, if you may. Okay. There are instances where I am online at odd hours and there she is. So my reaction was, wait a second, you're not supposed to be on at this time. She said, no, I had to take care of something. Yeah. So I am more than pleasantly surprised with how she has integrated her belief system with ours, how she has adopted our philosophy towards being as responsive as necessary and as required to our client, with the interaction she has with the recruiters, the interaction she has with our partners, etc. So that has been a
mentality. I mean, that's what
positive
business owners, that's the number one thing. We always want, our staff to always have an ownership mentality and to go above and beyond, right? I always kind of use this phrase. We have employees that are playing to win or playing to not lose, right? Are they showing up to deliver, that same experience? Because that's what a lot of people go down the path, right? Is, can they deliver at the same level that I will, if they're hiring locally and certainly, internationally, if that's kind of their first path. And I love to hear this journey, right? Because every single time, people are pleasantly surprised about what the capabilities and competency and the desire to learn and to grow and to be educated. And, we put them through tons of training and additional resources, but you've offered the same. And so it's great to see she's kind of embraced, that path.
Exactly. And when there is a disagreement, Brad, or when something needs to be done differently, we have an open channel of communications, right? I will say to her, well, I needed this. And she said, absolutely. I understand. This is clear, so that we correct any issues that arrive quickly, Brad, and move on. So it's been more than a pleasant experience leveraging all the things that she have done for us.
Could you share a couple of specific examples that maybe the listeners can be helpful? I mean, so it sounds like a lot of marketing related and helping with lead generation support. Can you maybe share some specific things that you've had her do? A lot of times we talk about with people, what we help with are things that either people want off their plate, right? Or things that they want to be doing that they aren't getting to because of time or money, constraints.
Yes, there's a long list, Brad. I'll give you a couple examples. When we were going through the selection process, I said to your folks in the Philippines that I was not interested in bringing on someone who was going to be monitoring my inbox. I can do that. That's not what I need. I don't know how much baseball they watch in the Philippines, but the analogy I used was that I needed a utility player. I do not need a first baseman. I do not need an outfielder. I needed a utility player, someone who could do a million different things on the field. And that's exactly what I got. Specific examples, Brad. I had this client, this federal government client that services the federal government, but then I simply did not have the bandwidth to respond to their requirements as they came up, because I was more focused on the commercial side. I simply said to her, listen, take this and follow up with any requirements that comes up. Brad, we already closed a deal that is worth in revenue about 150 grand to our company. Revenue, not profit. Yeah, the profit is a subset of that. But she essentially took that on, ran with it, and we closed the deal. The fellow's about to start within a week or so. Okay,
that's a perfect example.
Yes, working with that party, and that's just one example. Brad, the other day we were working with another client, and the client said to me, Armando, listen, I need you to put these two charts together for me. It was part of an RFP response. Brad, this was important, but I was simply buried. I then hesitated. I said to myself, this thing is a little complicated. If I send this to her, I might be disadvantaged. I might be putting her in a tough position. You know what? I said, let me do it anyway. Let me see what happens. Brad, I called her up in a couple hours and say, how are you doing with this? And her response to me was, I'm done. Even after that, then I was a little skeptical. I said, what do you mean you're done? In other words, you knew what I needed, right? And she said, absolutely. That I was surprised. I got what she sent me. I sent it off to the client, and the client said, thank you. This is exactly what we needed. Okay. Again, just a simple example, Brad. It's difficult for me to quantify everything else she has been doing with all of our marketing, our recruiting, our back office stuff, but she's been involved in every aspect of the business. We're now looking forward to getting her involved with processing supplier invoices and so on. But that's a different phase. Okay. So if I had to put this in dollars, it's almost difficult to quantify, but it will be thousands of dollars that she has either saved us or in the process of generating going forward. That right.
Well, that first example you just shared, right? I mean, it's a perfect example of things in that second bucket, things that, you're not getting to that you'd like to, right? And that's an opportunity that maybe would have not been able to take advantage of, but because she was there, right? You're able to bring in $150,000 that maybe wouldn't have, otherwise, or things that aren't. So
absolutely.
So the path for a lot of you out there listening, right? And again, we would love to have a chance to support you and can kind of share support in what we do. And we have a whole free process to just help you figure out what your constraints and challenges are. There's a lot of great companies that are out there, but just taking the path and the journey, exactly as Armando you're describing, right? It's kind of being in that place of, they talk about the E-Myth, right? The famous last word. It's easier to do it to myself than to train someone else.
Yes.
But I tell everybody, I can tell you how great all this stuff is, but it's not until you get confidence. And exactly what you described is those moments that you start seeing, wow, that this surprised me. I didn't believe that she could do it this well. And all of a sudden you build confidence to give out a little bit more and give a little bit more. And I love the utility aspect of what you shared, right? Is like, because of the skill sets and the hunger to learn. And we got staff of ours that are doing multiple things and wearing multiple hats. They're doing some accounting work. They're doing some marketing work. They're able to kind of collaborate in that process directly with you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And ideally being able to document and do all the playbooks, right? And this is not yours, obviously, but kind of a fake example we have, but like being able to document all those processes and everything that we're doing. So from day one, and a lot of clients, I know they appreciate this and encourage whatever company, if you go down this journey, is companies that document everything and keep it in a playbook. So you have that redundancy. And if they need to hire more people, the training is there, or if she needs to be out, somebody can kind of step in. And then performance business use, right? Like
absolutely. The playbook is something that the guys have been managing. We have our periodic quarterly reviews, Brad, where we reviewed all the progress that we have been making, and that has been well managed by the team. And Brad, I do not want it to go off without mentioning it, but LinkedIn, we in our business, our ideal client profile target, Brad, does not reside on Facebook, does not reside on Instagram, resides on LinkedIn. And our assistant has become a whiz at using all these different LinkedIn tools, all these different marketing tools that we are subscribed to in order to target potential leads, potential clients on LinkedIn. So that is critical to our objectives here. We have set that as a target to grow the business, to add new logos, and she's fully integrated with that process.
I'll take a look here and see how we're looking on LinkedIn here. So we go to your profile here, and LinkedIn, and for anybody that's listening, I mean, you can build a, 10, 20, $30 million company if you've never touched anything but LinkedIn. It is such a powerful channel. And if you learn how to squeeze all the juice of the capabilities, and that's one of the trainings we put a lot of our staff through, is how to use Sales Navigator, how to use thought leadership posting and ads. It's absolutely incredible, but it's about consistency. Like with any advertising, it's always about consistently staying, right? Like the posts that are coming here from under your profile about what you're doing, the impact that you're having, right? Because in your business, right, it isn't an impulse purchase sometimes, right? They got to transition from another supplier, or if they're glowing, but you want to be top of mind. So whenever that life or business event happens, right? Armando, they remember that post that was put up about what you guys have done or the impact that you've had. That's awesome to hear that she's helping you leverage that whole platform as well.
Yes. And what she has done, let me bring everything home now, Brad. What she has done is that she has leveraged. I spoke earlier about the brand voice GPT. Now she has leveraged that brand voice GPT along with LinkedIn, so that we now have automated post, weekly, monthly, quarterly post that she manages by leveraging that brand voice GPT with LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So we have been doing all of that jointly.
And we're getting consistency, right? I mean, this was, 1 day ago, 5 days ago. And I
Mhm.
love the message. You can see the GPT, she's prompting it properly, right?
Yep.
Because it's giving
Yep.
good, tight, quick, and your decision makers are IT tech type folks, right? They're not, right? They're tend to be, very precise with their words and how they operate. And so the language
Yes.
here is very clear. Mid Q1
Yes.
check, your
Yep.
2026 initiative staff, boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom, right?
Yep.
That's speaking the language of your target prospect to get them to
Exactly.
launch their
These
game.
are mostly senior folks. These are decision makers. These are VPs, IT directors, procurement managers, Brad. So these are fairly senior guys and gals, yeah, that are our target audience. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, man, this has been fantastic to hear. And these are
Mm-hmm.
exactly the journeys and stories of why I got and started this
Mm-hmm.
company to begin with, because the impact it
Yep.
had for me in growing my last company in the teeth whitening space of all things, and
Mm-hmm.
changed my life, changed my business.
Yep.
And I said, you know what? I want to bring this journey to other small to medium businesses,
Mm-hmm.
give them the confidence, provide the right kind of infrastructure,
Yep.
the culture, as I'm sure you've seen. We have our own magazine in the Philippines, our own
Mm-hmm.
TV show that helps us attract the best talent,
Yep.
but then provide people that really want to deliver value
Mm-hmm.
and go above and beyond. So
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
well, it's been fantastic to hear your journey, and look forward to
Mm-hmm.
continue. And I've actually a bunch of ideas that popped in my head. I'd love to share with you some other things that
Yes.
it can even be, especially with LinkedIn Lives. I don't know if you've done LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
Live yet, but those are another very powerful platform for kind of
Different
engagement.
world altogether. Yes.
Yeah, we have a whole
Different world.
guide that we can give to your VA and staff on that,
Sure.
that how to
Mm-hmm.
run those. But
Yep.
well,
Okay.
awesome. Well, everybody wants to come learn more about what you guys do, and like I said, you guys have a free downloadable guide, I think, right there off of
Mm-hmm.
your website.
Yep. Yep.
You can go
Yeah,
to.
absolutely. PTYTechLLC.com. Anyone can go out, check us out. They can reach out to us via the contact us linked on the site, and we would love to explain or spread the what we can do to help our clients meet their business targets. Brad, we're
I love
always
your
we're
education.
always on. We're always on. Yeah.
And you got to start, right? I mean, our business, it all starts with
Mm-hmm.
education. The whole point of this
Yep.
podcast and what we do is just to educate and
Mm-hmm.
advise and insight. And,
Yep.
you put enough value out there in the world, right? It kind of
Mm-hmm.
comes back, to you in the process. So
Yes.
we'll put their website in, and you saw Armando, and connect with them on LinkedIn. And as we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing, getting some good content cranked out there. And
Yes.
on our end, you can always visit us at outsourceaccess.com, and
Yes.
we get tons of videos and content, and you can consume that and engage into a free discovery session with our team. But one of the cool things that we do, and maybe you experience, is this 2-question exercise that we like to do with clients a lot of times when they're figuring out, where do I begin? What can a VA do in my business?
Yep.
Is like, take an inventory of those 2 questions. What do I want off my plate, and how many hours am I spending on it? And what do I want to be doing that I'm not getting to? And we encourage people to send this to their staff, to their managers. I can't tell you, Armando, we've done this with thousands of companies at this point. And so we got a little Google Doc that if you send an email to tools, TOOLS, tools at outsourceaccess.com,
Okay.
and just put PTY in the subject line, we'll know where it came from. We'll shoot this your way, and it's a video explaining how to do it. And it has over 700 tasks that we've done over the last 6 years,
Gotcha.
outlining everything across marketing, operations. People scroll through this. There'll be
Okay.
lots of things they'll find in kind of both of those categories, and that 2-question exercise they can explore. So
Gotcha.
happy to send that to everybody that's listening
Sure.
if you want to kind of learn more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your day, and appreciate your time to share the journey. I can't wait to share this with the team, and the words that you've shared, they'll certainly appreciate it, and look forward to continue to redefine how you scale, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Take care.